Call the order, Town of Londonderry CIP Committee meeting at 268 B Mammoth Road, Moose Hill Council Chambers on June 24th, 2024, held at 6 p.m. Kelly, what would you like to do from here? Do you want to do officers?
Please, if you wouldn't mind.
Nomination for chair?
Yep, chair and vice chair.
Okay. I'd like to make a nomination to nominate Jeff Penter for chair.
So moved.
Got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Jeff, are you opposed?
Do I abstain?
That's
Yes,
up to you.
probably.
You can vote for
One
yourself.
abstains.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm for.
okay. I'll look for a nomination for vice chair.
I would like to nominate Jake Butler.
Second.
So moved. A second?
I seconded.
We have a second.
Perfect.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Is that Ted?
There we have it. We have our chair and
There you
vice
go.
chair. And Mr. Coombs has arrived.
Hi, Dad.
Jeff, are you okay to run it from there? Do you have your agenda?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you all. I'm really excited to lead this year's rendition of the CIP process. I believe the next item on our agenda is Kelly. You're going to be providing an overview of the CIP process, and so if you are ready, you can go forward.
Sure, so just briefly, as a reminder, because I think you've all done this before, maybe not you, but you're familiar. So the CIP document is a financial planning tool. Essentially, it's a 6-year planning document. This committee is a subcommittee underneath the planning board that's tasked with reviewing the projects associated with the CIP document and prioritizing those projects. There's a set of criteria that we have to do that, which you will go through over the course of the summer. And the goal is to have the document drafted and then presented to the planning board via a work session early fall before budget season. So then the town has it for budgeting purposes. So that's the quick overview.
Pretty much it.
So tonight, we did the organizational piece of the meeting, and we're just looking to establish a few more meeting dates if we can get through that this evening. I provided some options in advance. I also have them in your file on your computers.
Last year, we were able to do our meeting, I believe, in one meeting, correct, Kelly?
I believe-
We didn't end up having a second?
I believe so. However, I'll say that this year we will have both school and municipal projects. I know we had municipal projects.
That was gonna be my next question, is what it looks like, so maybe
Yeah.
2 meetings is the best.
So I would say at least plan for 2 meetings. I know of at least 2 municipal projects. In the school just sent over 4, was it 3 or 4 projects?
Same for.
So just keep that in mind.
Coach, who's to your right?
What's that?
Who is to your right?
Patrick.
Me, Patrick Cassidy. How you doing, Jake?
Oh,
You
sorry,
guys
Patrick.
know each other, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Awesome. I couldn't tell who it was from the camera, so thank you.
I look 20 years younger on camera.
If I may, Mr. Chair, it's Mike Malaguti. I wanted to just say a couple of things. So one is, I anticipate by the time this committee gets around to some of its most important work later in the summer, that I will be the staff contact for CIP. So I wanted to be involved from the outset. and make sure that the committee was aware that I'm available as a resource, and I'm happy to assist however I can. I wanted to be a little bit more involved anyway this cycle because, as town manager, certainly I and the town council are involved in a lot of public discussions about what the CIP is also discussing. And so I think it's important to have that, that continuity. The last thing I want to say is something that I think, as somebody who is fairly new to the CIP process myself, not having been involved in it really before I became town manager, I think it's important that we keep in perspective and in context what the purpose of the CIP program is. In this connection, I would, refer back to some of the headlines and chatter that we heard last year about, the school just came in and asked for, $500 million, and that wasn't the number, but whatever, some, large number worth of projects. Well, no, that's not what the school is asking for this cycle. That's not what the school is asking for maybe even next year. It's a 6-year planning document. And I think our approach needs to be one of over-inclusivity so that we as a community see what is coming down the pike. Even if the number is large, we need to understand that we're talking about a lengthy period of time with respect to some of these projects. So we as a staff are bringing forward projects that we can see on the horizon so that we can make decisions as a community about those projects and plan for them, and then present those projects to the voters. So I think it's important at the outset that we have a discussion about why we're here, why we have a CIP program, what the importance of it is, and that the projects that we bring forward are not necessarily our requests for funding this year, next year, or even in 3 years. It's just making sure that we know what's coming so that we can plan for it.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I agree with everything you've said, kind of living through this process, the CIP process, for a few different cycles. There's an opportunity to over communicate and definitely communicate the purpose of this process to all of our boards as well as community at large. I'm very much in favor of having open discussions on these items and such, while also balancing the need of our time and the community's time. We definitely, to your point of kind of reframing it, and Kelly, I do appreciate it, Mike, you as well. This is a 6-year planning document, and I think that gets lost in translation. And I think that's where we really need to definitely focus on. This is a 6-year planning document. This is, you tell us the plan. This is your planning document. This is how this is important for this process. So I definitely want to, my plan as chair is to, be, kind of communicate, a bit more. I'd like to definitely, leverage the, town council meetings to get, periodic updates. I mean, granted, the work only goes through the summer, so those opportunities are very, obviously limited. But I still think, kind of getting our work, getting this information out to the public and demystifying some of the myths that do come up is really important. I'd like to kind of thoughts on from my colleagues on the board, any other questions on what the purpose of this is, how you all use this planning document as you enter into budget season. What do you find value? What value do you find from it? Such like that.
I think that's a great idea, because I had a community member during the process after the vote of last year at one point say that for one project had been voted on and not been passed before. and they went reference back to a CIP. So I think we need to clarify that that was just through committee and planning board, and it's for future project. It wasn't voted on by the people. So that was a big, conversation I had with a community member where they thought it was voted on, already, and then it failed, and how many times are you gonna bring it forward? But that was just to bring it forward to the community. So I think, to your point, Mike and Jeff, I think more communication, and it might be even worth an agenda item at a future council meeting where the chair and vice chair and the town manager and Kelly, whoever's available, just to have an overview and describe that to the people of a council meeting. That might be helpful.
And to your point, Mr. Slater, I think that's exactly right. So something can come to the CIP committee, be presented to the voters, and get rejected that way. Something could come before the CIP committee this cycle, be, accepted as a high priority, and not be accepted as a high priority next cycle before the CIP. So it's not only a living, breathing document, as it moves from CIP to planning board to the community, it's also a living, breathing document as it moves from CIP to CIP year to year. And so as an example, the Lions Hall, I think, was presented last year, if memory serves. It's probably gonna look different this year. I'm not up to speed on the school project, but I understand that that's evolved pretty quickly here since last cycle.
That's gonna look different.
Probably gonna look different. So, things, might be on CIP one year and then they drop off because, because of community feedback or because some other alternative has been developed. So I think it's important that people keep in mind that, again, it's not, hey, we're gonna be coming to you in, 2, 3, 4 years for this as a request. It might be that, but it also might not be.
Sure.
And just to emphasize too, it may change as quickly as through this, 3-4 month process.
Absolutely.
Especially with the school, as the school board meets and makes its own decisions.
That's correct.
So I think we just really need to keep that in mind and emphasize that, like you said, at these public meetings, so that everyone's informed.
Yeah.
And really, it comes down to data and financials, and things may change when we have more facts.
And Jeff, I can actually put it as an agenda item at a school board meeting too, to get it out between council meeting and school board, and do a kind of overview with a couple of the committee members, at the beginning of a school board meeting too, so we get that word out to our community and that, if it helps.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I think that is exactly what I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. At the end of the day, the more we communicate, the better off we are. So any airtime we can get at council meetings and school board meetings, I think is a great opportunity.
Set some dates.
Ready to set some dates?
Yep.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I would ask, are we stuck to Mondays on this? My next 2 months of Mondays are gonna be in Virginia, so ideally I would like that to not be on Mondays.
So what the dates that I provided are, yes, Mondays are ideal because we have to consider other town meetings, other municipal
Yeah.
government meetings, but,
Kelly, what did you have, for dates?
We have July 22nd, July 29th, August 19th, and August 26th.
And
You guys wanna do the 29th and the, I'll just see if I can work my way around these. Wanna do the 29th and then the 19th if we need it?
works for me.
Yeah, the only dates that wouldn't work for me on that one was the 22nd, so the 29th and the 19th
Work for you, Pat?
It does,
Yeah,
but
that would give me enough time to try and move some things around.
so the 29th and the 19th work for me as well, but I kind of want to second Jake's point that Monday nights are tough. So if the schedule for the town had availability on Tuesdays or Thursdays, those are better, but I can make it work.
Would the board be open to, I think it would be a lot easier for me, even if I have to do it remotely, if the board would be open to doing a 7 o'clock for these. Cause I've got about 5 minutes and I gotta start getting ready to go to the airport and my flight's gonna be consistent every Monday. So, I I have the time to sit. I've got from, 7 to 8:30 to sit in the airport, so I think if we could do 7, that would certainly help me out if I can't be there in person.
I don't have a problem with
That's
7.
fine, that's
I'm not
fine
gonna
with
be
me.
here.
Yep.
7 would work better.
Jeff, are you all right with that?
Yes, I do, wanna, recognize Patrick's point of, if it's possible to look maybe at a Thursday. Mondays are difficult, but, but Kelly, I do yeah, Mondays are Mondays, and I do trust that, you looked at all the different scenarios
If-
for us, so.
If you'd like, you can just schedule the next meeting, and then I'm pretty much not gonna be here after this, so if you wanna change it around, I'm gonna defer to Mike.
All right, what about Thursday, August 1st? Are there not rooms available that day? I don't mean to stick my nose in here.
The
Instead
only
of-
thing that we compete with on Thursdays is, I thought it was
Budget.
BudCom, but also, utilities?
Utilities and beautify, some other committees fall in there,
But BudCom's only on the 3rd Thursday of the month right now.
Okay,
occasional heritage
occasional heritage. The ZBA's on, oh, yeah.
and overflow, yeah, but.
I think at this point, we can probably make that work.
So what do we, well, I won't be here at the 1st, but
Okay, so the 1st doesn't work.
But does July 29th work?
Yeah.
The
Yep, July
Everybody?
22nd
And then
would work
look-
for me.
At
I'll make
7?
that work.
At 6 or 7?
7.
7, please.
yeah.
All right.
July 29
Yeah,
at 7,
the,
okay.
you mean the 29th?
Yeah.
Yes, 29th.
Yes, yeah, I'm sorry, Jeff.
29th at 7?
All right, and then you can schedule from there if you want.
Because that'll be the presentations, right?
Correct.
And honestly, I'd even be open to, I understand it might be a long meeting, but if we have the ability to get it done in one and, maybe we're there until 9 or 10, I think it'll help every process move forward a little bit better, so.
So is no one available on the 22nd?
I'm away.
You're away? What are you?
I'm away.
And he's away?
Yeah, that's a little
Okay.
bit too short a time. I can move the 29th around, but
Okay.
I can move the 22nd.
Then I'll do the 29th.
Right.
29th, 7 PM. And then we'll set,
Folks, for agendas, for the agenda, all right, actually, I apologize. Are we okay with the date on the 29th at 7?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
For agenda, I would very much, I think historically we haven't entertained public comment, but I'd like to entertain public comment. Is there any objections?
No, I'm not opposed to that.
That sounds like a good idea.
Probably looking at doing it at the beginning and at the end.
Sure.
Mr. Chair, just for the, to make sure that we don't miss out on any public comment tonight, and I don't see anybody from the public here, but would you like to call for public comment this evening or start that at the next meeting?
No, I will definitely call for public comment. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to, discuss anything about the CIP plan, please do so. Come to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Jeff, can I recommend that we have public comment at the very end? That way it doesn't interfere with the progress of the meeting?
Yeah, I was actually, Ted, I was thinking, especially that first one. I know that I said, the first and the last, but I'm thinking the presentations will happen. I don't wanna, delay those. So I think having public comment at the end serves all audiences. So I do like that recommendation.
Mr. Chair, this gentleman who's getting into his car next to you, do you think he has anything to add to public comment?
So I meant to say for the record, I am alone in my locked car, and nobody, nobody can hear me.
hey, Jeff, would you consider whether the town goes first or the school having public comment after the presentation of each one? just so they don't have to sit through the next presentation and forget maybe what they were talking about, town side, school side?
Jeff, I think that's a pretty good idea. I think we've done a little bit of that in the past.
I think
where
so, yeah.
As each unit finishes up, we look for comments, so I don't think that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, I agree with that. I will probably, you know, I obviously want to hear from the public, want to recognize that the importance of that voice. But obviously, I'll monitor it and control it based off the rules and procedures, modeling after the council.
Fantastic. So we have our date. Mike, was there anybody in the crowd, or is it empty over there?
Nobody in the crowd except for town and school staff.
Okay, I'm not sure, Jeff, do you need anything else from us, or are we good to wrap up?
Nope, I am perfect. I'm great.
And then
Are we
at
good? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
second,
Second. All right, all in favor?
aye.
I think the appropriate thing is chair votes in the affirmative.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, got it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you all.
Fantastic.
Kelly, Mike, thank you so much.
Look forward to working with you.
Talk with everyone.
Have a good night.
Take care.
Good night.
Awesome, have a good night, guys.
You too.
Okay.